Okay, well, I'll get started. So just welcome Mr. Senque Carey from the class of 98 to our alumni speaker series. He's going to talk about college coaching. Again, this is recorded so other folks can listen and join in, but please, if at all possible, have your cameras on and go ahead and be prepared to ask questions, any and everyone. You can either ask it in the chat or you can ask him directly. We have a little bit of, I'll read him background on Q, and then I have a series of questions for him. But after that, we'll open it up for questions and answers. Let me just add one more guy here. You might recognize Q. Maybe was a teammate of yours back in the day. Let's see if I can if he's gonna go camera though. Charles is not gonna go camera right now, but I'm sure you guys can catch up in just a minute. So let me give you a background on Senque Carey. He's in his 5th season as assistant basketball coach at Long Beach State. He is a veteran of West Coast coaching, having spent time at New Mexico, Portland State, Loyola Marymount, Hawaii, and Fresno State. For a while, he had taken a break from college coaching, started his own business, a basketball experience, and was the head basketball coach at Menlo Atherton High School. Prior to that, he played started his career at the University of Washington, where he was a Pac-10 all freshman selection before transferring to New Mexico. In high school, he was on the first St. Francis State Championship basketball team. Without further ado, Mr. Senque Carey, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. The only state championship team.
You know what? I'm Coach Motil. He might be coming on, so I didn't want to make it mad. If you listen to it later, but you know they were in there. But yes,
that's motivation. That's motivation.
There you go. And by the way, Coach Scherenberg, who also might join this call, just a little side note, he has
I owe him a Coke.
When we redid the gyms, they took down the state championship banners, but he somehow found it and it's up in his classroom. So our football coach has his state championship basketball banner in his classroom. So you can always
I don't understand that though. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. You know why? Why would you guys take something down that's such a eminent part of the university? I mean, the school, the high school. I mean, I don't understand that.
Yep, I would agree with you there, but powers that be, and then I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get them back up there soon enough. Right. All right. So my series of questions for you. How did you end up at St. Francis? Was it a family connection, friends going there? How did you end up there?
Well, I came from East Palo Alto, where high school was not high up on our list. Majority of my high school teammates or classmates or peers also went to Menlo Atherton, but a lady by the name of Jill Smith in a community center, Onetta Harris Community Center in East Menlo Park, where we all played basketball and other variety of sports. We all kind of grew up together under one roof. And once one of them went to St. Francis, it felt like we all needed to go there. And it was one of the best decisions or, the things that ever happened to me at that time, for sure.
Okay, so now what was your favorite class at St. Francis and why? or teacher?
I didn't have many favorite classes, but I would have to say me and Mr. Nakai, who is the Osorio. There we go. Me and Mr. Osorio, we had our pack. He didn't teach a class. I want to say he was the equipment guy, but I was out of class so much to where I can get to hang out with him a little bit and talk. And we always had great conversations, especially a young man trying to become a man and having not having a father figure in my life. not saying that he was my father figure, but we had those kind of talks. And I can remember those talks, and he used to show up to every game, and we had our little sign language where we used to do things, and it was good. So Mr. Osorio was was definitely my favorite teacher.
That's awesome. I'll
I
make
mean,
sure he hears
I
this.
live with Heather Washington, so you know that right there, I had a little overload of that, but you know, Mr. Osorio is definitely my safe haven right there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, would you do anything different in your 4 years at St. Francis?
Yeah, I would probably I was kind of in my own circle at the time. You kind of um, become one dimensional. I was so focused on becoming the best basketball player that I can become. I kind of only hung out in my groups, but I had a variety of different friends from different cultural backgrounds and everything like that. But as far as just branching out, you know, I'd have probably went out there and did some gymnastics, or something. Not saying I would have made the team, but I branch out a little bit and explore different things because there was so many different things happening on campus that where I'm from it was never you know focused on like that. To just so many different things.
Hey, Charles, did you ever talk to him about playing a little football or anything? Did you ever get him to do that?
And Charles got me out.
I mean,
He
I
got
tried
me
to.
out there one time.
He got out there for one spring.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't good though. I mean, first thing happened is I didn't realize that I was going to be missing so many basketball games. And we in practice and they teaching me how to grab another man and keep another man from grabbing me. So I really wasn't attracted to that at the time. At that intensity level, I think Pop Warner, Charles, it was fun, but you guys kind of took it serious. It was kind of a job at St. Francis, and I wasn't ready for that intensity level.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What would you do the same?
What would I do the same?
Yeah.
I would have played basketball like I did, for sure. I would have did that from day one, and I wouldn't have changed anything on the experience from being a freshman to playing with those older guys and learning the ropes and taking my little bumps and along the way and just being able to grow, and grow in a positive way and learn the game along the way. I didn't know I was learning how to play it the right way at the time, but now I'm at this level. I definitely benefited from being with those older guys at the time.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Um, so one of the other questions was a mentor, big influence. You talked about Mr. Osorio. Anybody else that was a big
Oh,
influence?
Mr. Filios, hands down. He wasn't just a basketball coach. He kind of stepped outside of that realm for me. He was a teacher, a tutor, a counselor, a Uber driver. He was everything. And just to have somebody like that you knew. At the time of coming up, it was a lot of people that had a lot of different agendas for me as a basketball player, but you knew that he was rock solid, and it was nothing, that was, self-absorbed or anything like that. It was all for me. And I can never, 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 never say enough good things about him.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure he gets a copy of this as well because he's great man, and I run into him every once in a while. So definitely agree with everything you said.
Statue out there in front of the gym. Got to have Coach Filio's statue out there, in my opinion.
uh, okay, so now kind of the thing that the consistent theme is, tell us your story. How'd you get where you are? Kind of the road and however you want to go.
I got to where I'm at today with a lot of hands, with a lot of different people pulling me along the way. I was a stubborn kid from East Palo Alto that thought I had all the answers to the world. But, you know, um, when you mature and, you have different people that have been through lives, different times of lives, and they was able to push you through the dark times and lift you over the deep puddles. That's what it was about for me. I wasn't never just I wasn't a straight, had all the different resources that's needed to be successful when I got to St. Francis. So it took a whole village to get me through that. And it's one of the things that, I tell guys now that's in the inner cities of East Menlo Park, wherever you're from, that, you know, they're going to embrace you. Once you get in, you still have to do the work and put in the extra time to, for me, I had to catch up. My academics background was not at a St. Francis level, but they took a chance on me. So I felt like, I needed to do whatever I needed to do to get caught up. And I felt like by the time I was a junior, I belonged. It took a couple years, but by the time I was a junior, I felt like I was good. So that alone is something that, somebody that's listening to this tape and is going through the same academic background that struggled as a junior high and even below that. So you can definitely make it, but at the same time, you're going to have to work at it. It's not going to be given to you. So I learned how to work and get through things and overachieve things and not get too high on yourself and not get too low on yourself. That's what I learned through those 4 years. And, playing basketball, that was just a blessing, but the real life lessons of going to St. Francis and being around so many different cultures really prepared me for life.
That's great. When did you decide you wanted to be a college level coach?
I didn't. It kind of chose me, I was on my way, I thought, to be a professional basketball player at some level. I got hurt. Um, Me being a point guard, I was already coaching on the floor already anyway, kind of being a extension of the coach on the floor. So it was kind of a natural thing to me, but it was hard because at the time you was asking me to coach my teammates. My first year coaching was undergraduate at New Mexico, and those are the guys that I was supposed to graduate with. So now you're telling me to coach those guys when those guys are my teammates and we did who knows what together. So it was kind of difficult and it was kind of a tough transition. But once I got out of there and got my first job at Portland State and was able to feel like I could touch people's lives at a different way, at a different level, to give them chances that they never thought they could have, to see the reaction of a kid's face when you offer them a full ride scholarship. I kind of took that for granted as a basketball player. I had numerous of scholarship offers, but when a kid only has this one offer and you change his life that way, I felt good doing that. And being able to teach him the game the way I was taught as a fundamental aspect of it. And then, you put your own things in it as what you're training kids to get the best, product out of them. When you're able to touch a kid and bring that out of them, then it kind of gave me a different joy. And so I kind of fell in love with that aspect of it and being able to go and recruit the best players that I felt that was the best players that I felt, that was good enough to play on this level. And to see some success and have some success and win some championships and go to the big dance and, see players get drafted in the NBA, all that stuff was just, I felt like I was here to give them those opportunities.
What is, and you might have basically just answered it. What's the most gratifying thing about your job?
That ain't just the opportunity to take a kid, no matter what background, whether you come from the most wealthiest background to the poverty level, to give them the opportunity to continue to try to reach a goal is something that's big. And then to also see them reach them. I done had guys that's um, taken that has no opportunity. Nobody believed in them to be able to play a Division I game and then become an all conference guy and then become an NBA draft pick is, something that, you can only explain and talk about, but the feeling that you get from seeing the goal being made from not only that player, but the parents, that sacrificed and the coaches and all the times and the travel and all the stuff that single moms that I've seen and single dads go through, that's, it's a blessing, and it's a big accomplishment on both sides.
What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, these days it's a little different, because I don't know if you guys understand the college basketball scene and college football scene has taken a drastic change over the last 4 or 5 years. We're facing 2,500 on average kids transferring from Division I programs to whoever else. And now the NCAA is changing the rules again to make it okay for these kids to transfer and not have to sit out, play right away, and all that kind of stuff. So now, my day is 2 or 3 days on the transfer portal, just checking that out, and we don't have to be in the office, so to say 9 to 5 because of the COVID and that situation. But we working on Zoom. I'm having about 5, 6 different Zoom appointments a day. Recruiting through social media is like something way different. So, it's really no time off, to sort of say, because kids are on Instagram and all this kind of stuff 24/7. And so in order to stay within the curve, you kind of got to be up on the game. So I just kind of, try to make sure I'm up on what's going on and see the next talent, where it's coming from. Hopefully St. Francis can have a couple, talented guys coming down the pipe. I know Coach Motil has a son, that's playing that we in touch on email and stuff, but it's good. It's good to be able to go out and touch different talent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you face?
Um, Winning and losing. It's got to be the biggest challenge. And the worst part about my game, my job is the games. It's not the coaching and the practice and the recruiting. We all can do it, but we get fired over wins and losses. So that's the most stressful part of my job, and just making sure that we're well prepared. I try to make sure that we're prepared, and if we able to go out there and play to our best of our abilities, we're going to live with the results.
And then switching gears a little bit from a career advice, if somebody's interested, we have a St. Francis student or a young alum that's interested in getting into coaching at the collegiate level, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to go for it. There's not a blueprint to how successful you can be. There's not a blueprint for somebody to tell you have to do this A, B, and C. We all know the stories of great NBA coaches who started off in the film room before they was a coach. Then you hear coaches that's going straight from, playing college basketball, being professional, and getting a head coaching opportunity right away. So there's no rhyme or reason. I would just tell you to just go for your gut, and bet on yourself. If you feel like this is what you want to do, don't get discouraged by what everybody else is doing. You kind of got to get tunnel vision and bet on yourself.
Okay, so I will open it up to other people's questions. I'm tired of talking. So anybody else throw out a question for Senque or put it in the chat. Just
I have one.
Sister.
Excellent. Sister Jody.
So Q, you were talking about how you've got, players coming in from all different kinds of backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm interested in is your philosophy as a coach and what you feel are the most important components to have in place to kind of bring your team together. Like how do you form your team to become what it is you want them to be? Like what are some of your important values and how do you pull those together?
I think the one thing that we try to do here at Long Beach State is that we don't try to recruit kids for talent, so to say, but we recruit kids that fit our culture. We try to come in as a group that's going to believe in like a blue collar approach. We're going to get up early in the morning. We're going to do things. This is what we do. So when the kids come in that's new, these 5 kids that we got coming in, these 5 seniors going to grab these kids, and they're gonna each one of them gonna carpool with them, and each one of them is gonna make sure that they're where they're supposed to be at 6 a.m. It's not so much us coaches. We already did the hard work. It's building the culture, to where you can have those 5 or 6 seniors that was on the St. Francis team when I was a freshman. It wasn't Coach Filio showing me how it's done. It was EJ Calvo and Joe Kavanaugh and Brennan and Sharonberg and all those guys that was just grabbing me and telling me and pushing me and showing me so much how the culture is supposed to be. So we kind of got that same mentality here at this level, to where, our guys that tell us, oh, this guy kind of don't fit or won't fit or not buying into where, we got to get on, and some, it's not always fair. If the kid can play a little better than the other kid, you get some of that sometimes too, where kids feel jealous. But at the end of the day, we all in it. We all on the same ride going up, so get in the seat, make sure that your seatbelt is on, but this train is going this way. And we kind of, don't kind of waver on it. We didn't lost some talented kids that way, or, we also then won with less talent, and lost with a whole lot more talent. So it's kind of a happy medium, but you cannot string you away from your culture. I think that's the biggest thing. The culture is big. If you have no culture, you changing your program year out and year in anyway.
I have a question for you, Senque. What makes a great basketball player?
A mentality, a stubbornness, a mentality, a stubbornness, and a work ethic. And I would put those all together, and then you mix that up, stir it, you get a basketball player. In my opinion, I'm not the, but that's what I look for. I look for a hunger. I look for people that's playing for something, that's motivated for a bigger cause. That's, their mom, they might have to, they trying to get their mom out of the project. So I like that kind of pressure. Yeah.
Okay, who else?
I'll ask. What's your next step?
Hi,
Is
Raymond.
this like your dream job, or do you have your eyes on something else?
I got a lot of things that I want to accomplish. I used to think I wanted to be a head coach, right? But like I said, there's so many different politics and things, that's variables that go into this thing behind the scenes. And I'm not really big on that networking stuff. I am who I am, and if you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not really looking for a lot of more friends, so to say. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of grow. If I'm what you're looking for, I like to say I'm an acquired taste. It's a little, I am who I am, so head coaching is good in the right situation. But for me, I want to, at one day, in the next 5 years, I'll be probably a sports agent, just to be able to touch, to be able to do like too many more regulations at this level. I have a lot of different places and paces at this time. In the next 5 years, I should be able to bring it all together, So that's my goal anyway.
Q, I
Nice.
have a couple agents
Awesome.
that I'm in touch with on a pretty regular basis too. So let's talk offline later.
Yeah.
I'll get you connected to a couple guys that are doing some stuff in baseball and football, but
Appreciate that. That's what I mean. Yeah.
a couple Lancers that will definitely, spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah, that's all I need. I guess a lot of Lancers in this college basketball game. We run across each other. It's competitive, but we know Velasquez and we got Montgomery. We see Montgomery every year, twice a year in my league. So, but it's good to see guys with that Lancer thing on, running around and doing their thing. It's good to see. It's good to see.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Does anybody have anything else? Demisha's gotta leave, but thanks for being on the call, Demisha. All right, so who else has anything? Brandon, Sean, anything?
I can ask.
Perfect.
Can you like see the difference between like a high school player and a college player? Like it could be like from like their scheduling or like their diet or like even the way they play. Like can you like tell a difference between that?
Yeah, it's more maturity level. Like for example, I was 175 pounds as a high school junior. You know, I played basketball in college at 205 pounds. So it's all about a maturity level, just going through. That's a big gap, you know, from 17, 18 years old to playing against 22, 23-year-old men. So you can definitely see it. But, you know, that all comes from a mentality. You know, no matter where you start from, you don't have to finish there. You know, it's just a little extra work that have to be put into things. So don't let that discourage you. You see a lot of those. Chris Paul's playing in the NBA now. He's 5, 6 foot. It's a lot of 6'6" point guards. He's have to defend. So at the end of the day, you know, your mentality has to be there.
Brandon?
No, I don't think I have any questions. I think everything said was great.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? I have one, but I'll defer to anybody else. And it's a total random one. Anybody? All right, I'm gonna ask because I watched the show Last Chance U. They moved from football to basketball and watched Joe Hampton play at junior college. How has he developed for you guys?
Joe Hampton is very, very talented player, as you can see on TV, but also very, very emotional. He's come from his background is very, very similar to a lot of inner city single mom, 6 brothers and sisters. Joe Hampton has made big, big, big strides, but he still has a long way to go, if that makes sense. We're proud of him, happy for him, but I'm not satisfied. You know, he came in, he gave us 14 points a game as a junior college transfer, got another year to go. And I think we're hoping big things for him. But also, you know, we always say this saying to Joe, no matter where you go, there you are. You know, no matter where you go, there you are. So if you can decide, you have to decide to get out of your own way, you know, and if you can do that, the sky's the limit. You know, so I'm happy to have him. We happy to have him, but you know, we're not satisfied to where you have to get to.
Fair enough. He seemed like a good young man, right?
Oh, great kid, man. Great kid, but just, you know, struggles with his own mind sometimes. And I think basketball has showed everybody, and football too, you still with a lot. If you can deal with the mental hurdles, you know, the mental hurdles of things and people talking in your own head, you know, and if you can get out of that way, you know, the sky, that's half the battle. And Joe's learning, he's taking big steps, man. We're going to put a responsibility on his shoulder to help lead some kids and to do things the right way. And he's doing it right. He's doing great right now. He's enjoying all this publicity. I tell him that too. 400,000 likes or whatever it is he got. But though, I tell him all the time, those same 400 people be there when you're on your way down. So you just have to, you know, keep doing what he's doing.
Excellent. Excellent. Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I got another one.
Oh, go ahead.
So Q, in your profession, you're talking about the pressures of the winning and losing, and I know that the university level is such a different beast, right, from the high school level. And what do you do to keep centered and focused and balanced in your own life so that, you know, that stress doesn't get to you?
Well, I'm the same player when I was a player when we're dealing with losses, so I'm a kind of wear it on my shoulder. but also I've learned through the years to try to take some positives from that loss and kind of pass that knowledge on instead of beating yourself over the head for the last 2 hours and wondering what happened. You can kind of rehearse on what happened and go back and teach these kids on how to deal with this adversity. So I kind of take it that way on how am I going to deal with adversity. I can't teach them how to deal with it unless I'm taking it like this. So I just take the positive from it. Sister Jody, pass it on to these guys and don't take it too hard. Don't take a loss too hard and don't take a win. Don't get too full of yourself when you're winning too. So it's trying to get a balance of it, play a little golf if I can, if I got that much time, but I really don't have that much time and I'm really not that good at it. So, when you're playing golf, losing balls all the time, it's really not that fun, so I stick it with the basketball. I like to shoot a little bit still and run up and down a little bit. Don't try to get too out of shape and don't take basketball too serious. Just use it as a tool for these kids to be successful. That's all.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Q, I'd like just to say how satisfying it is to, see you come to St. Francis and like you said, kind of, find your way. And now as a man, sharing your gifts and talents with, your students in teaching, life skills. And it's using basketball as a vehicle, to be a better person in life. So I'm sure that, for Sister Jody and Greg and those of us that have been doing it for a little while, there's nothing more satisfying than having, somebody that has come through the ranks continue, and we can pass the baton to you guys and know that the world's going to be better. So thanks for coming and doing this. And thanks for everything you're doing for the kids you've come across. It's awesome. It makes us
appreciate you guys and thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on and I look forward to following how we doing with this alumni chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess maybe, to follow Mr. Speckman, what would be the advice that you would give to, the next Senque, right? Coming to St. Francis from, East Palo Alto or, just not with not a whole lot of friends, coming into this big high school and, how did you adapt? What would be your guidance to them?
My guidance, my advice would be just to come in with an open mind to learn because you already know it's going to be a struggle and a transition. They already prepared for that transition now, going through the things that you guys had to go through with my group of guys, myself and Charles and Eric and Ray and all those guys there. So it was a transitional stage and I'm sure that you guys are you was prepared then, but now I think that you guys are really well prepared to come in and take some of these new students that's going through these struggling situations. Don't be, shy about it. Ask questions when you're on campus, and they'll work with you. It's not a place where they're going to alienate you. It's a place to where a kid can grow and become who they want to be. And if you want to be in the sports, be in the sports. Dance, they got, you guys are well equipped with so many different activities now for these guys to be successful, no matter what nationality. That's the best part about it.
Great. Well, I'm out of questions, which is, kind of unusual, but anybody else have anything? Senque, it's been great to have you back. And obviously, next time you're around, please come back on campus and, come out to our games and be part of, who we are. And we'll try to get you some more recruits from Lancer for sure. We got some dudes.
Thanks for having me and have a good year, no matter what sport it is or activity or subject matter, go Lancers.
Well, thanks a lot, Q. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks, Q.
Love you, Q.
Everybody. See ya, Sister Jody.
See ya.